Sean here, shoreline fishing, and yeah, I'm doing a reaction video. This might be the one and only time that I do a reaction video. I just want to figure out something else to do in the winter. So let's watch this video of the oldest fish. Now this is the second time I watched it. Like I said, this is more of a test run to see if I enjoy doing this and to see if you guys enjoy it. So let's watch. Good dog.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, and of course Arnie does too. Now in the animal kingdom there are a few animals that are famous for living for a very long time. With the giant tortoise and the African
like I said, this is the second time I watched this.
But in the world's rivers and lakes, there are also a few fish
that
that live for a very long time.
predictions,
So today I will be going through 5
and I'll
fish
tell
that
you
have
which
very
ones I
long
predicted.
lifespans. And we'll start off in the
Lake
Great
Sturgeon
Lakes
was
of
one that I
America. We have the
predicted.
Lake Sturgeon. Now the Lake Sturgeon is also known as
Beautiful
the rock
fish.
sturgeon, as they prefer rocky areas and freshwater tributaries. And the Lake Sturgeon
Love
is the
Niagara.
only sturgeon species endemic to the Great Lakes Basin. And like I've covered many times on this channel before, sturgeons are prehistoric fish, as they're thought to date
See, that's
back
something that I've
250
always
million
known,
years ago
but I
to the
didn't actually
Triassic
realize
period. And since
what
then,
that
they've
meant
outlasted the dinosaurs,
until
and
this
there are around
video.
25 species of sturgeon still alive today. And in the Great Lakes and its tributaries, they are a bottom feeder, normally hoovering up insect larvae,
Garbage
worms, leeches, and crustaceans. Other fish are rarely found in their diet, but one of the few species that they're known to prey on is the invasive round
That's the
goby,
video
which I
that gave
featured
me
in a
my
recent
idea
video.
of
And like all sturgeon
invasive
species, they can grow
way
very
back.
large, as they're thought to reach a size of around 2.2 meters or 7.25 feet. But unfortunately, all sturgeon species have had a hard time over the past few hundred years, as poaching and commercial harvesting have all but destroyed the sturgeon populations throughout the world. And as I've covered many times on this channel before, it's because of the high demand for their caviar.
See, I've mentioned that in a
prices
couple
which this caviar
videos
sells
that
for,
the
poaching of
caviar.
sturgeon has become a real problem in the past few years. And even though lake sturgeon caviar isn't the most expensive, because of commercial harvesting, lake sturgeon populations within the US were close to extinction by 1900. And today, lake sturgeon are currently
Obviously,
listed
this
as
is an
either threatened or
American
endangered in 19 of the 20
channel.
states in which they inhabit. And in the lake sturgeon world, females live a lot longer than males, as males are thought to typically reach the grand old age of 55 years, where females are thought to live to up to 150 years old. And although that's a very respectable age, it still doesn't rival the oldest living land animal. So hopefully with the help of ongoing
You see, what they were
conservation
doing
efforts,
on
we'll
that
see a
one
lot more of
was
this
they were
species
reading
around
a
the Great
tag
Lakes.
that
For our
was
next
put
fish, we'll be
in
staying
the
in North America,
tail.
as we have the alligator gar.
And this was the
Now, this
second
large
one that I
predatory
picked,
fish is
was
also
the
found in
alligator gar,
Mexico as well
because
as
of
the
the
United
size.
States, and can be found in a variety of habitats, from large lakes to sluggish rivers and backwater swamps. And the alligator gar is the largest gar species by a long way, as they're thought to reach a maximum size
Imagine
of around
catching
3
a
meters
10-foot.
or 10 feet, making them one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. And just like the sturgeons, gars are very primitive fish, although they don't date back quite as far as the
They have
sturgeons,
amazing
as they're
teeth.
thought to date back
Big
100 million
teeth.
years ago to the early Cretaceous period. And to help them survive this long, the alligator gar has a few adaptations that make them such a durable species. Because as I've covered many times before, they have the ability to breathe atmospheric oxygen, which makes them perfectly suited to swampy conditions. And although there isn't many dangerous predators on Earth today compared to the early Cretaceous period, the alligator gar still has a great layer of defense, as their scales are not like the scales of other fish, as they have ganoid scales, and these scales are only found on sturgeons, paddlefishes, gars, bowfins, and biches, which are all very primitive species of fish. And these scales are covered in a hard layer of enamel-like dentine, which makes them very
Beautiful.
hard to penetrate.
Huge fish.
And these scales are so strong and effective that some Native Americans used to use these scales as arrowheads. And today one
I
of
was
the few
killed
predators that
by
can take
an
out an
alligator
alligator
gar
gar is an actual
spear.
alligator. And as gars are mostly
Just
average
imagine.
predators, they normally live a very slow lifestyle. And this might be one of the reasons that they're thought to reach a maximum
Love the
age
cartoon.
of around 70 years old, which is around the same maximum lifespan as an African elephant. And that's a very respectable age for our second prehistoric fish. And for our next species, we'll be yet again staying in North America, as we have the big-mouth buffalo. Now, if you're not from the US, you may think the big-mouth buffalo is some kind of weird carp.
See, I thought it was a
Even though
carp
they look
too.
very similar, they are actually two completely different types of fish, as the 5 buffalo species are actually members of the sucker family. And in the wild, this fish
Yeah,
can
I
be found
thought
in
it
both
was
Canada
a
and the United
carp
States,
myself,
and tends to
so so.
inhabit sluggish areas of large rivers and lakes, and in their long lifespan they can reach a respectable size, as they are the largest buffalo species, reaching a length of around 1.2 meters or around 4 feet long. And to help them reach this size, they have a pretty impressive appetite, as they
That
roam
would
the
be
fresh
nice, a
waters of
4
North
footer.
America, filter feeding on microfoods. And this fish also plays a very important role in the ecosystem, as young bigmouth buffalo are prey to walleye, northern pike, catfish, and the previously featured alligator gar. But problem invasive species such as
Silver
silver
carp
carp
look
and common
weird.
carp have really put a dent in their numbers. But if given the chance to reach maturity, they are able to reach the grand old age of 112 years old. And as it can
Puffer.
be quite hard to tell the age of a fish, most of the lifespans on this video are the estimates of scientists. But the bigmouth buffalo is the oldest age-validated freshwater fish, as over a 7-year study, scientists used carbon dating on the ear bones of some bigmouth buffalo and found that one was officially 112
See, I'm not a big
years
fan
old.
of
And this study
carbon
also found
dating.
that around 90% of
I
the
just
fish
don't trust
studied
the
were
idea
over
of
80
carbon
years
dating.
old.
It
And that's a
just
very
doesn't seem
impressive
right.
age for such a carp
There's no
fish.
proof
But for our
in
next
my
species,
mind.
we'll finally be moving away from North America and all the way
I would
over
love
to
it
Australia,
to
as
see
we have the
me
Australian
proved wrong,
lungfish.
but
Now, the Australian lungfish is one of the weirdest freshwater fish still on the planet today. And just like the previously featured gar and sturgeon, they are another very primitive fish, with fossil
see,
records
fossil
of this
records
fish
I can
dating
believe.
back 380 million years ago, all the way back to the Devonian period. And just
It's
like all
hard to
the other
tell.
lungfish species, they are masters at surviving, as many lungfish are able to live through droughts, with some being able to survive out of water for over 4 years. But out of all
That's
the
cool.
members of its family, the Australian lungfish is the most water-loving, as they don't spend long periods of
I
time
love the
out of water,
cartoons.
and they only really use their modified lung in very poor oxygenated conditions. And although it's not the oldest living fish in the world, one specimen was the oldest living aquarium fish, as the aptly named Grandad, called Chicago's Shed Aquarium home. He was transported from Australia to Chicago in around 1933, and he lived a very happy life in this aquarium until he was euthanized due to failing health in February of 2017. And at this time,
That'd be
Grandad
cool.
was thought
Having
to
a
be in his
90-year-old
mid-90s,
fish?
which is a very impressive age
Yeah,
even for us
outlive
humans.
us.
And the keepers at the Shed Aquarium really must have been looking after him well, as the Australian lungfish is thought to reach a maximum age of around 100 years old, meaning that Grandad must have been a very happy and healthy fish. And that really is a very impressive age for one of the most primitive creatures on the planet. And for our next species, we'll be heading to most garden ponds worldwide, as we have the
See,
koi.
I
Now, koi are
picked
one of the
carp.
most popular
I didn't even
pond
think
fish
of
worldwide,
koi.
and it's easy to tell why, as they come in so many
Even
different
though they are
vibrant
carp,
colours and are relatively
it's hard
hardy.
to
And
tell-
as I'm sure
hard
many of you
to,
know, koi are coloured varieties of the Amur carp.
call
And
koi
humans have been
carp,
keeping
but
koi
that's
for a
what they are.
surprisingly
Same with
long amount
goldfish.
of
They're
time,
carp.
as
They're
carp
carp.
domestication began as early as 4th century China, with modern koi breeding originating in Japan and China several thousand years ago. And on the market today, there are over 100 varieties of koi carp, with the kohaku, sankei, and showa being 3 of the most popular. And breeding koi can be a very profitable business if you know what you're doing, as the most expensive koi
Imagine
is sold
getting
in China for
$2.2
around
million
$2.2
for
million.
a fish.
But as I'm sure many of you
Wow.
know, your average koi won't sell for anywhere near as much. And koi carp can reach a similar size to the bigmouth buffalo, as they're thought to reach maximum length of around
4-foot
1.2 meters
goldfish.
or 4 feet long. And although the average lifespan for a koi
Yikes.
outside of Japan is around 15 years old, they can live for a lot longer than this. As well-maintained koi are thought to live to over 100 years old. But there is a very famous story about a scarlet-coloured female koi called a hanako. This fish reportedly hatched in around 1751 and is believed to have lived for over 2 centuries in a pond near Mount Untake, which is located around 200 kilometers west of Tokyo. And as you can supposedly tell the age of a koi fish by the annual rings on its scales, hanako was believed to be around
Imagine
226
seeing a
years
fish
old, and eventually passed
226
away in
years
July
old.
of
That is
1977. And that
crazy.
really is a very impressive age for such a
It was a
beautiful
beautiful
fish.
dog.
But that's about it for this
Beautiful
video. If you
dog.
know of any more fish that have very long lifespans, then let me know down in the comments below. But thank you for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these.
So-
But until next time, goodbye.
So, I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, and subscribe. And tell me if you enjoyed my reaction video. Next time I'll react first and then record the video. I think that would work a little bit better. But yeah, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.